Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. Happy Monday to you. The whole world is getting ready to go to work this Monday if you're not already there, and we are going to have all kinds of opportunities to hang around with other people, to get ourselves into different kinds of situations. And so let's set ourselves up for success. Let's set ourselves up by really affirming what is good and true about ourselves. And and in doing so, we are we are going to be changing the opportunities that we have available to us simply because we are changing the way that we interface with the world. So yeah, this is the wake up call, Maui Paul. I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck, and we are going to affirm together that we are the affirmation on that card. And the question of the day is, what cool thing happened this weekend? So Dan says he's getting ready to move mom to Georgia tomorrow. That's super cool, Dan. I know you've been working on that for a long time. I'm really happy that you were able to move her to a totally different state, prepare a new place for her, and ultimately get her really set up for success in the next stage of her life. That's awesome. Yeah, for me, my weekend was actually really chill. I just enjoyed I enjoyed a lot of alone time. Honestly, I enjoyed a lot of just thinking about where I want to go in life, and got to I got to just sort of organize things that I hadn't been organizing. I did some spring cleaning. I feel like I'm just in a bit of a new environment because I'm looking around at all the things that are cleaner than they were when I started in the weekend. Of course, I went out and partied on Saturday night. That was an absolute blast. The party was wonderful. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I feel like I was able to really get more clear on my long-term goals and get organized. Just organize my household in over the weekend. So pretty excited about that. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys, what cool thing happened for you this weekend. Shauna says that she got to hang with old friends and many loving animals. Filled my cup. I love it. Laura's talking about the closing of Bike Week. I know that you've been down there in Florida at Bike Week. I hope that you had an absolute blast. I know that there were quite a few of my friends that you were down there with. So I hope that you had a great time. Anyways, yeah. So I had a very good weekend. A lot of relaxing, but also when I wasn't relaxing, a lot of just like cleaning, organizing, getting things done, and just kind of prepping for a new season of growth. So yeah, so it is time for us to pull the card of the day, just like usual. I'm gonna pull a card. I'm gonna ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. We are gonna say out loud together the very powerful words, "I am." As we say these words, we are really building into our own lives. We are being assumptive about how our days are going to go, and we are giving ourselves a touch tone for us to really manifest what it is that we are bringing into our days. So let's have some fun today by pulling a card and saying that today this is your daily reminder that you are assertive. You are assertive. You boldly advocate for your positions. So you are assertive. You boldly advocate for your positions. Are you assertive? Yes, you are. You are assertive. You boldly advocate for your positions. And I am assertive too. I boldly advocate for my positions. And so I'm writing that down in the comments that I am assertive, that I boldly advocate for my positions. But what does it mean to be assertive? I thought when I first started to look into the word, I figured that being assertive was a bit of a personality trait. Of course, it's always good to be assertive because when we are assertive, then we are able to defend the positions that we hold. We are able to evangelize for them. We are able to defend them when other people come against these positions with either incorrect information or incomplete information. And we are okay with people who don't agree with us. And insofar as when our position and somebody else's position are in conflict of each other, we can advocate for our own without necessarily making theirs have to be wrong. That's what being assertive is about. And when I started to study the word, I realized that some new information I didn't know, which is that being assertive is actually considered to be a medical condition. It's something that is extensively talked about in the fields of psychology. But to be assertive is to know, or to be self-assured about what we believe and what we believe being right, and being able to argue for that, but not necessarily to the point of having to make other people wrong. To be assertive is considered in the medical community to being a very healthy way, like a sign of very healthy self-esteem, which was an interesting connection that the doctors had made that I certainly hadn't, which was that as we are able to advocate for our positions, that's a sign of very good self-esteem. It's a sign of a healthy self-image, of a healthy self-concept, because we neither force other people to believe what we believe, which would be a very dominant way of doing life, nor do we allow other people to roll over us with their opinions, which would be a very submissive way of doing life. But rather, we advocate for our positions with the knowledge that we are confident that we have. And of course, if we have other better evidence that is given to us, then we can certainly, we are open to changing our position. That's something that being assertive is all about. It's about having the ability to change our position, but recognizing that there has to be some evidence for us to change that position. And I'm sure that you've had to be assertive plenty of times in life, where you're in a room with a group of people, and not all of those people agree with everything that you have to say, and you might very well have to defend your positions. It probably will happen at least once today, where you're going to have a position, you're going to have an idea, you're going to have a some thought that is worthy of defending, and somebody else will not have that thought. Somebody else will think differently, and it will be incumbent upon you to defend your position and to boldly advocate for it, but not to the point of making somebody else wrong. Because as we make other people wrong, well, they just have the folks that we make wrong, they become almost impossible to eventually convince to come over to our way of seeing things. But when we are assertive, when we boldly advocate for our positions, when we recognize that our positions are born of the best knowledge that we have available, when we choose to remain open to other knowledge and other ways of seeing the world, then it makes our positions more strong. It makes us better communicators, because we can boldly advocate for our positions, whatever they may be, and also at the same time respect other people for having positions that are different than ours, whether we become convinced of their position or not after they argue it on their decision's behalf. We recognize that the other people around us, the thoughts that they have, the ideas that they have, the deeply held convictions that they have are born of their life experience. And we do not invalidate that life experience by making sure that they have a thorough understanding of how wrong they are. But in the end, we recognize that our positions are born of our life experience, and the people around us, their positions are born of theirs. And so when we boldly advocate for our positions, we boldly advocate in a way that is open to interpretation, open to an understanding that we're all different people, that we came here from different places, and that the ideas that we have, that those ideas need to be tested out. Those ideas need to see the light of the world, because if they don't, if we keep them inside of our heads, it becomes very easy to simply live in our own echo chamber and believe that anything that the thoughts that we are having are just automatically right simply because we're having them. It's important for us not to believe everything that we think, but to back it up with evidence. And as we get more practiced at backing it up with evidence, the level of our assertiveness continues. So just think about the last time that you had to advocate for your position, that you had a disagreement with somebody else, or perhaps you didn't have a disagreement, but somebody asked for your opinion on something, and it happened to be something that you've thought about quite deeply. Consider how that's different than the last time that you had to make somebody wrong about something, that you were advocating for a position, but not necessarily in an assertive way, but in more of a domineering way. I mean, I know that I'm guilty of that. I've certainly done it. And I know that everybody around me does it as well, because we are all imperfect humans who are learning how to communicate. And as we go through our day, I mean, it is Monday morning. Everybody around us who is working has had a whole weekend to think about stuff, probably not work. And so as we go into work today, as we go into being with the teams that we work with to accomplish the things that we are doing to support ourselves and to make our world a better place, just know that the ideas you have that you formed over the weekend, that you formed over a lifetime, that those ideas are worthy of expansion, that those ideas are worthy of your advocacy, and that it doesn't matter what the relative positions are of you or and the other people that you're talking with, that everybody who is worthy of continuing to have a relationship with us respects our positions because they respect us. There are many people in my life who have completely different opinions on me on things that I think are very important. And while I boldly advocate for my positions, I absolutely respect them when they boldly advocate for theirs. Because oftentimes, when two people are in disagreement about something, the fact is that the truth of the matter is very often in between the two opinions. I know that I can be a pretty opinionated guy, that I can boldly advocate for my positions. I practice it every single morning at 9 a.m. When I say nice things about you, I have to boldly advocate for those things that I say, because the traits that I ascribe to you and to myself as we work through these I am statements, these traits are not traits that are commonly that people are taught to commonly associate with themselves. We are taught to associate these positive attributes with others. We're taught to associate these positive attributes with people who aren't us. And yet when we choose to associate them with ourselves, all of a sudden there come people who don't think that that's an appropriate way of doing life. That it's that for us to do something like this would be for us to also somehow be conceited or self-centered, and that conceitedness or self-centeredness is bad. And yet we know that when we reach for these better thoughts, it is primarily for our own internal monologue's benefit that we do so, and not because we are interested in changing other people's minds. We are interested primarily in changing our own. And so we are assertive today. We boldly advocate for our positions. And as we do that, we do change our own minds. We cement what we already know, but we remain open at the same time to abandon ourselves to the strengths of what other people already know, to steal the best of what other people have already figured out, and to ultimately to come to a better understanding of the folks around us, to understand the differences that make us all unique, and the paradigms that we each grow up with, which allow us to form the worldview that we ultimately end up having. So we are assertive today. We boldly advocate our positions. So go out today and boldly advocate your positions. We be an advocate for them, because the only people who can really defend our positions the way that the way that we believe them is us, because the only people who came to them in that way was us. I believe a lot of things that other people believe too. The reasons that I believe these things are different than the reason other people believe them. The reasons I believe these things are colored by my own life, by my own perception, by my own experience. And so too, do you have a unique life, a unique perception, a unique experience that has taken you to where you are today, that has taken you to a place where you can even say these words, where you can attend a broadcast like this one that would be so confronting for so many others. So you are assertive today. Your positions are worthy of being advocated for. There will be people today that test you. There will be situations that test you. They're coming. And so last week, man, I had two fairly lousy days in a row last week, just where I was just so frustrated. And I was having a very hard time finding any love in my heart for my fellow human beings. I really was. Like Thursday, Friday of last week was not great for me. And and I remember that I had a little bit of conflict with a couple people last week. And And it wasn't all that major. It was simply that we saw life a little bit differently, and so therefore that needed to be addressed so that we could remain friends. And so I boldly advocated for my positions, and that I respected them as they boldly advocated for theirs, which were different than mine. And in the end, even though I had a pretty lousy couple of days, even though I had even though I wasn't necessarily feeling all the love, I feel like because I have all of these, these cards that I can reach for, these internal ways of being that I can reach for, that I was able to navigate these situations and just really maintain mutual respect for the people that I love, the people that I care about, the folks who are in my world for a reason. And so I am assertive. I boldly advocate for my positions. And you are assertive today too. So this is our daily reminder that we can that our positions are worthy of advocating for. That we have the ability and indeed the responsibility to make sure that when somebody else misinterprets or simplifies what we believe, that we have the ability to really argue constructively for why what we believe is important, why the people that are listening to us talk should adopt the opinions that we have formulated over so many years of life experience. And as we do that, we have the ability to change minds. Now, perhaps the people who disagree with us will not come around all at once. However, the fact is that they have that simply by experiencing the way that we think, the assertiveness that we bring to the table, the ability to advocate for ourselves without necessarily forcing them to give up on their beliefs, that perhaps they'll recognize the kernel of truth that exists within ours, and perhaps also we will recognize the kernel of truth that exists within theirs, and ultimately come to a better understanding of the people who are around us, who are made just like we are, who are more similar to us than we are different. And in doing so, we can ultimately foster a greater understanding and a greater amount of love in this world that we all share together. Well, guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. It has been fantastic to hang out with you today. I'll return tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. or I'm sorry, 9:30 a.m. at 9 a.m. with another wake up call. We're going to go through some more fun cards. When I started the call this morning, I wasn't sure exactly where the I am assertive card would take us today, and I'm really happy about the place that it went. So yeah. So today, go through life, be assertive, boldly advocate for your positions, and as we do that, as we all do that together, we are remaking this world into a better place. So good morning to you, Jan and Donna. Good morning, Dan and Shauna. And I see Lauren has showed up here today. It's also wonderful to see you. Let's see here. Good morning, Armando. And let's see here. Yep, good morning, Armando and Eric. It is good to see you guys here as well. So thank you guys so much for being here on the Wake Up Call. I will return tomorrow at 9 a.m. with another message. And we will continue to really build into our own lives, develop ourselves, and recognize the inherent truth of who we are. And yeah, just let's continue to make the world a better place just by being in it, all right? I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, just my daily reminder to you is that I love you and that I care about you, and that I believe all the things that I say about you, just like I believe that all the things that I say about me. I see these traits inside of you, and I know that you are equipped today to go out and rock it at life. So, my lovely and beautiful friends, I will talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise.